All right, welcome back to the Duck Call Room. We got Stone, we got Uncle Si, and we have another
And we have a guest.
special guest.
That's right.
Si, you want to introduce him?
That has just written a book.
I just bet you got a speed special.
Well, Phil, I did wake up early myself this morning.
Yeah, I saw you in the woods. I saw you coming. I heard you fire one shot.
Yep.
Where'd that shot? What was that shot?
That was on the main levee. That was a big bull Congo.
Ooh.
All right, he needs to be shot.
You hit him?
Oh, yeah, I got him. His head was about that wide.
Yep.
That's one that won't get us.
He won't get us in the legs.
Yep.
But I will say this. I hadn't been down there in a while. Been churning those duck calls out. But that was the most enjoyable morning I've had in a long time. At daylight, in the woods, checking on everything. And
There's almost something like healing about it.
Oh,
it's
therapeutic.
Yeah.
It's very therapeutic. And I had old LaRoche's deer manager with me, old Adam LaRoche. And he said the same thing you said. He said, there's something about being in these woods at daylight.
Oh.
You just can't get enough of it. So
You're
pull up.
looking at bull oaks out there, bull oak trees. They're scattered. A limb blew out of one of them, Stone, and I got that limb, and I was looking on there. I was looking for them baby pin.
Yeah. If we're going to have any acorn crop this
looked,
year,
and I said, they starting to make. Last year, remember, we had a bad acorn crop.
Oh,
This year, I'm seeing more of them.
okay.
So what else you see this morning?
Well, I saw about 8 deer. I saw some unidentified that was low to the ground and was moving fast.
Uh-oh.
Black
But
Panther.
it was
Uh-oh.
not identifiable. It was
It
not
ain't identifiable
was
too
not
fast.
black. It was brown.
So there goes your
Well-
black theory.
Well, no.
Black-
Cause hey, I seen something 3 different times over there on the property. Okay, over the years, and all 3 times I never did identify it. I would just get a glimpse of it. At first, I said, "Well, it looked like a turkey fanning out his feathers," and I said, "But no, wrong color and just the wrong shape." But I never did. One time it was on the levee, going by the lake. And I was on a 4-wheeler, so I just gunned it when I seen him. I said, because I've got him. He's on the levee road, so he's got to go one way, hit the lake, or, So I gunned it, come up there. Nope. I come up there, and then one of them little, where you dug dirt to fix the road, water had water in it. He went in it. And I said, well, it must have been a big old river otter. Mm-hmm. And I said, but I'm not sure. That didn't look like an otter.
Well, you kind of sound like old Dan, the eunuch. The eunuch told me one day, he got back up there, and I said, all right. I said, what was going on over there? He said, Phil, I have something to tell you. He said, I saw a monkey eating a persimmon.
That's right, eating persimmons.
I said, now, Dan, I said, this ain't, Africa here. I said, you sure it was a monkey?
Around here.
He said, I'm telling you, he was on his haunches, and he was eating a persimmon.
What did he say? A black monkey with a white face.
Yeah.
Yeah, black monkey with a white face. And I thought, Dan, I don't know about that.
Well, did I tell you what happened a few days after
Yeah,
that?
everybody was on alert after that, looking for this black monkey.
Did I tell you what
White
happened?
face. Oh, yeah, we solved that.
Oh, I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it with
Yeah,
my
he
own
saw
2 eyes.
Oh, you did see it?
Oh, yeah. I had the binoculars on and everything.
Yeah,
What was it?
It was a black possum with a white face.
with a white face.
That's it. That's where,
That's what it was.
that's where the eunuch got in a bind.
That's it. Oh, speaking of the eunuch, I pulled up to the creek this morning, and I saw Phil standing there. So we get out, go talk to Phil. And I turn around and look in Phil's truck, and Dan is sitting there like this.
He's asleep.
No, he's not asleep.
He's awake.
Eyes are wide open, mouth open, staring at the ceiling.
Now, every time we say something about this, somebody always, yeah. Here's what Jesus said. Not everyone can accept this teaching. Matthew chapter 19, verse 11. He just got through saying, if you marry a woman and you divorce her for any other unfaithfulness on it, anything, but if she sleeps around on you with somebody, you can cull her. But if she can't cook, hey, you got to stay with her. If she's got a loud mouth, you got to stay with her. So he said, I tell you that anyone who divorces his wife except for marital unfaithfulness and marries another woman commits adultery. Now his disciples said, I'm getting to the eunuch story so you'll know what it is.
Yeah.
The disciples said to him, if this is the situation between a husband and wife, I can't cull them unless they are immoral. It's better not to marry. I'd be better off not marrying. Well, watch. Not everyone can accept this teaching, but only those to whom it's been given. Some are eunuchs because they were born that way. There are people who do not desire anybody, man or woman. That's one kind, born that way.
They have no desire.
No desire. For some are eunuchs because they were born that way. Others were made that way by men. They were castrated. The kings, they would castrate all the men. That way they wouldn't fool with the chicks. So, and others, now watch this, have renounced marriage because of the kingdom of heaven. The one who can accept this should accept it. So there's three kinds. Some are born that way. Some are made that way. And some, the Apostle Paul, Jesus himself said, no marriage. Think about it. Jesus knew he was going to die for the sins of the world. It caused less grieving if he just didn't get wives, family. Some people, you say, they're eunuchs because they say, well, I really don't have the money, whatever. They're just not drawn to the opposite sex. The Apostle Paul said, the line of work I'm in, and he got his head cut off, he said, I think probably having a wife and children would slow me down on the tasks the Lord Jesus has given me, preach the gospel, write these books in the Bible. So, Dan, I told him, I said, Dan, I said, just remember, if you stay a eunuch and you don't marry, you can always marry if you want to. You may be 50. You may decide to marry. I said, but the bottom line is, I said, it's cheaper. I would think if you didn't have a wife, you didn't have that woman to your side, would it be cheaper without her?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have a whole lot more money.
Well,
but hey, here's
the good news is, Miss Kay don't spend a lot of money.
Huh. Hey. But here's the thing: the Bible speaks highly of the eunuchs.
Sure does.
Kings let them. They handled the treasury. Okay.
One of the convertees was the Ethiopian eunuch riding along in the chariot. Said, you know, who's he talking about? He was reading from Isaiah.
Yeah.
And old Phillip said, that's the one I want to talk to you about, the one you don't know anything about. And he's the one that pulled up and they went out there. As soon as they saw some water, you know, what's to keep me from being baptized? So Philip goes down and baptized him, but he was a eunuch. But God, you're right. I read the various places it's mentioned always in a positive way.
No.
You don't have to marry.
They were very trustworthy people.
That's
okay?
great.
They were put in charge, okay,
I
of all
trust
kinds of things.
old Dan with every cent I have. I mean, he is like trustworthy.
Oh, he's very trustworthy.
Yeah.
Yep.
I grew up with him. I love Dan.
Oh, yeah. He's a good dude.
He is a great guy. Well, on that note, we got one more break coming up right now, and we'll be right back. Where you been and where you going, baby?
Where I've been ain't important, but where I'm going is important because I'm fixing to go to New Zealand, in the pristine waters of New Zealand, okay? And they make Omega XL.
Yeah, baby.
Your body makes SPMs, okay? You know, when you're young, it's no problem. Well, at my age, I got problems. You know, I got inflammation in my joints, wrists, knees. Well, hey, look, I call them my first responders. I take a couple of Omega XLs, wash them down with tea. They turn on the sirens, hit about 125, just fast as it can go. They get to the spot of information. They take care of business. And I'm like, hey, it's like I got the fountain of youth, boys, at my fingertips. Tell them how they can get this wonderful product, JD.
baby. That's right. Omega XL can restore your SPMs, and you can order it today and get a second bottle for
Free.
That's free, baby. Visit
it.
omegaxl.com/
Duck.
That's omegaxl.com/
Duck.
or call 1-800-844-48.
88.
And that's 1-800-844-48.
88. And hey, you order the first bottle, and hey, we send you the second bottle free, people.
Yeah,
you can't
baby.
beat it. And hey, if you got information, it takes care of business, boys. The Fountain of Youth is available to y'all.
I have a question for Phil. Phil, so you know my Uncle Mac, right?
Yeah.
Owens?
Yep.
He came on our podcast, and he told us that you and him used to take Miss Kay and Mary to the movies.
We actually, in our younger life, before we knew better, we would like go to town at night
That's
and take the women.
true.
I haven't been to town at night. I haven't shopped in a decade. I mean, I'm just down there at the house, and Dan, you need anything? I said, yeah. I said, get up there,
But
bring me some of them barbecue chips.
yeah, but we never did go to town much,
No.
even as kids.
Nope.
Okay, we was always busy, either fishing, hunting, or something to do with creation.
Yeah, we didn't go to town as a family. I
No.
never remember going to the church.
The only thing we did as a family was go to church.
Yeah,
That was it.
that's it.
You don't play dominoes.
And play domino. I was just curious.
That was the thing about being in the woods. Okay, people don't realize you're actually out there, and it's like a communion. Okay, you're communing with nature,
Yep.
and of course you're communing. If you're communing with nature, then you're communing with God, because He's the one that created.
Think about it, Stone. Have you ever heard any cursing coming out of them duck blinds all these years we've been hunting?
No,
We just,
not one instant.
Well, number one, it's useless. The filthy language, it's useless.
it is.
All it'll do is it'll send you to HELLL. Okay. But I mean,
We don't want to always remember, Si, there is forgiveness.
no. Well, I'm just saying though, filthy language is really worthless. Okay.
It's better thought that since we're ambassadors, as though God was making His appeal through us, it's just not very attractive for an ambassador representing the one who never made a mistake.
Yeah.
It just doesn't fit with profanity and pointing people to Jesus. It just doesn't work.
And people do notice. I played basketball in high school, and we got this old boy from New Orleans after Katrina, and he had a New Orleans mouth, is the best way I could put it. And he came, sat on the bench beside me in the middle of a game, and we were getting beat real bad. And he looked at me and goes, "You don't cuss much, do you?" And I was like, he was huge. And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Huh, I should probably look into that." And I was like, "Sounds good." But people do notice your language.
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, I guess that's probably the second they notice what you look like, then notice how you talk. And so when they notice something different, it is and we're called to be different.
One thing I noticed this morning was all that slack in that track on that dozer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Dan sent me a picture not too long ago.
Red found the problem on one of these slides. He was showing me. But he had that thing taken apart, talking to the parts man. But they'll have that going pretty quick. It's been up to 100 degrees in the shade, but going back to the woods again, you have equipment, and if you in the mud all the time, your equipment.
Oh, if you use it, it's gonna break down. Trust me.
Bulldozers, track hoes,
Yeah.
backhoes. I mean, there's a lot of equipment in order for a man to kill a duck. Wouldn't you agree, or a deer?
Oh my goodness! Oh, it's quite the operation going on down there right now.
Oh, it's a lot of work involved in duck
By the
hunting.
way, that prairie, when I parked and I looked over that 22 acres,
Is that pretty or what?
that is one of the prettiest sights I've ever seen.
In 1967 or 68, we were in college. We set after a couple of years, you learn if you like to hunt and fish. We fixed our schedule, to where we went to classes on like Tuesday and Thursday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5 days
Out in the woods.
we were
On
heathens.
the lake.
Tommy was always a good dude, but Christianity was not, pointing people to Jesus was not what I was into. So a couple of days you go to college, the rest of the time you're in the woods. So we went up there one time and we was in the northern part in Louisiana, North Ouachita, on up the river, about 50 miles from where we're seated right here. We asked this old commercial fisherman, said, "You got any ducks around here?" And he said, "Oh, yeah, a lot of ducks." I said, "Where are all the ducks?" He said, "They're up there on the prairie." I said, "The prairie?" I said, "So what is that?" He said, "It's a big opening in the woods." Well, I didn't know at the time how it got there, but I just was taking his word for it. So I asked him how to get to it, and it was about 3 to 4 miles from where we were. He's sitting in the boat and telling us how to get there. So you go up there, you turn on Frank Lapeer Creek and you go up there and you'll see a cut right here. He was telling us how to get there. So me and Tommy, we take off. We get up there, and when I saw the prairie coming up, I noticed the woods started opening up a little bit. The water was about roughly a foot deep, maybe a little less. And if there was one duck doing this, there was 10,000. I mean, that thing was loaded. And I said, "Tommy, is this legal?" He said, "This is legal." I said, "We fixing to have a time." Well, we got out there, boom, ba boom, ba bow, boom, bow, bow, boom, boom. Well, we started hunting it. Well, I asked the oldest man I could find up there one day, I said, "How'd that thing get to be open like that with all them scattered trees? What you saw this morning," he looked out there. He said, "Germans came up from Germany, come up by New Orleans, they ended up on the Red River back before they did all this work on it. And then he got on the Black River. Then he turns into the Ouachita, Tensas, Little River, the Ouachita run together down there around Jonesville. They come up through here, paddle boats. I mean, no chainsaws. They were doing it by hand.
Crosscut.
And I looked out there when I saw it, and I said, "How'd this opening get here?" It looked like it was about 80 acres, 80 acre just opened up. Big overcup, scattered out, spaced out. I sat on that bank. Me and Tommy had a bunch of ducks. I said, "Tommy," I said, "always remember this." I said, "If I ever have the opportunity to have some land," I said, "one place out there would be what you're looking at." I said, "I would like for it to look like that right there, them scattered trees." Well, fast forward about 50 years. The Germans were there in the 30s. We were there in the mid-60s. So 30-something years had passed. They were there, no chainsaws, no equipment. I mean, I guess they had mules. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're sawing these things down with crosscut saw. But I noticed they were aware to leave scattered trees where it wouldn't hurt the landscape. I don't know, no telling who owned it. But I saw that, and I said, if I ever get the chance, I'm going to make a hole just like that. What you saw this morning, Stone, was me saying,
Here it is, 22 acres, right?
look, that grass, there was springletop when I found the first one way up there up north 30, 40 years ago. But this one, it's just nut sedges, wild millet. You see that?
Oh, yeah.
So by the time that thing gets up, a few little rains this summer, you just think about what that's going to look like.
It's solid grass from one end to the other.
Well, I know the deer like it because me and Jace pulled up there, and it was still, the dirt hadn't even nothing that grew yet.
Look, I've got
Jace
a
said,
duck
"Here comes
blind.
the deer." And he's good, greasy, big old buck.
Yeah, I got a duck blind, Si, that we made early in the spring. And I said, I'll wait on the backwater, and I'll move that blind out there on that. So I waited and I waited. It barely got enough water. Dan and I, the Eunuch, we went from the bayou, we came off of it.
From cutoff?
We hit the dirt before I could get to the spot. And I said, we'll just have to wait and hope it gets a little higher. Well, we caught about a 4-inch rain early this spring, and I said, Dan, now's the time to get that blind in there. We went up there, add a little 4-horse motor to get up there, ran aground. So I tied it off. It was just sitting there. It was sitting about 60 yards from where I wanted it.
Where you wanted it?
And I said, the last thing we want is no water that I can't get this thing in there. But the river got up just enough, and we just jumped out of the boat. He got on one side, and I got on the other, and we just started putting some old pontoon bars that Burley built a blind on. So I got it now in the spot, and after that, the water fell out, and now it's just sitting there. All it needs to be is brushed. We got a dog run on it, got a roof on it. It looks awesome. So you was picking up what, Stone?
So I was taking that boy around this morning, and we got up to the Cypress Lake above the pipeline.
Yep, little Cypress Lake.
And he said, boy, that thing's pretty. I said, yeah. I said, Phil planted every one of them cypress trees.
Yeah.
He said, are you kidding me? I said, not only that, then I took him down to the lake. I said, you see all those cypress trees?
He planted them.
He planted those too.
Yeah.
He said,
After I'm long gone, Stone, they're going to come up there. They say, boy, this is an old cypress brake.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can tell them, it's not that old.
No.
no, it's not that. It looks like an old cypress
Oh, yeah,
tree
it does.
right now.
Yeah.
It looks incredible. But he said, how many duck blinds do y'all got out here? I said, about 60.
Yeah.
He looked at me. 60 duck blinds. He said, why would you have 60 duck blinds?
Because the duck lived there.
I said, let me tell you something. The people that I hunt with, they mad at them. Everywhere somebody's seen a duck light.
Put a blind.
Hey,
There's
we
a
got to
blind.
build one there next year.
You see blind, they light 3 bunches lighting a spot. You say, okay. See a duck blind sitting there next year.
Si, I know you're comfortable today, even though it's hot outside.
Oh, yeah.
Want to know why you're comfortable?
Yeah.
Probably because you're wearing one of those 700 pair of underwear you bought.
That's it, boys.
How many Tommy Johns do
I got
you own?
20 pair.
20 pair.
Okay.
Good.
And look, it's like, I like them because, hey, it's like I don't have them on.
Hey.
Okay, I like freedom.
But we're glad that you do. Look,
Yeah.
as the summer's heat is melting your ice cubes, stay frosty where it counts in brand new Tommy John underwear. Si loves them. I love them. Stone loves them. Martin loves
Tommy
them.
John does not have fans. Okay? We are fanatics. Okay? That's the only kind of underwear we will buy.
It's like you're just
it.
nothing
It's like
at
you ain't
all.
got 'em on,
cool.
boy.
It's fantastic. They're super comfortable. And Tommy John doesn't actually make you feel cooler. You actually are
You
cooler.
are cooler.
Stay up to 7 degrees cooler than cotton in Tommy John's Apollo underwear. Plus, there's no risk because you're covered with Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear, or it's free. Guarantee, and Si agrees, they're the best pair you'll ever wear.
They've sold over 17 million of these boys. That ought to tell you something.
That should tell you something. Si loves them, and so will you. Celebrate the 4th of July in cooling comfort and shop TommyJohn.com/duck right now for 20% off your first order. Get 20% off right now at TommyJohn.com/duck. TommyJohn.com/duck. See site for details.
20% off.
Here's Dan the Eunuch, what he wrote on the outside of the book. Take to podcast. To use and plug. So we're supposed to plug this book.
Okay.
DC store duck call room. Go behind building and gravel parking lot. They'll be at the back door. That's what got me here.
Well, hey, that's how I got here, boy. By Dan. Man, Dan's instructions.
Detailed instructions.
So, make a long story short, I've been in the woods since about daylight this morning. Living in the woods, you say, why would you go to a big bunch of woods at daylight in the morning, the last day of June? Well, we are making it our ambition, as the Apostle Paul told the Thessalonians. Make it your ambition. That means when you get old enough, you come to the Lord, you say, how do I roll? What I need to do there, Brother Phil? I said, well, you need to make it your ambition. Here's a quote. 1 Thessalonians 4:11. 9 through about 12, 14 there. Make it your ambition. Now just think about it. In America, after what we're seeing in our streets and whatever, in the midst of all that, this is the days of the Roman Empire. Pretty rough bunch. Make it your ambition to live a quiet life. That means running around in the streets with signs and hollering and carrying on and just sitting there. They show some of them, they just sit there, they're screaming as loud as they can scream, and you're like, there's nobody there. There's nobody spurring them on. They're just standing in their living room and screaming into a cell phone. I'm like, so we make it our ambition to live a quiet life that truly is quiet. This morning, no traffic, no one hollering. Other than every once in a while you could hear a plane somewhere, and the railroad track, which is way out to the east, it's as quiet as this room right now, just quiet. Big trees, few deer, see a few squirrels this time of year. Time to time, see a turkey, maybe an old black bear rummaging through the deer feed that Stone plants for them. Let's see. Quiet life. Mind your own business. Yep, makes sense. Work hard with your hands to do something constructive, just as we told you, so that you'll win the respect of outsiders who are watching. So we notice you live a quiet life, you mind your own business, you point people to Jesus, and you're not dependent, listen, on anybody. Here's how much I owe them. You say, how much money do you owe people? 0. So you young bucks sitting here, start with you two, and these listeners, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, Phil. You make it your ambition to live a quiet life. Mind your own business. Work with your hands, doing something that's constructive, so that you won't be dependent on anybody but God himself. You're dependent on him. Everybody else, pay your debts, mind your own business, quiet life, where they, all the cussing and carrying on. Wasn't any of that going on. You say, how many times could we hear y'all use profanity if we followed you around all year, day or night, in the woods and out of them? How much filthy language would you hear? How many curse words would you hear? Look, 0. None. You say, not slip of the tongue every once in a while? No, there's no slips of the tongue. We don't use filthy language. Some guy came to me one time and he said, we're all using filthy language, and I'm the sound man, and I have you, Mr. Robertson, and all your family mic'd up. I can hear you when you whisper, or any of your family members. He said, now we're on a film crew. He said, this film crew has the most vile language that you ever heard. But he said, I've been listening, and the more I listen, I'm straining to hear you or one of your family members at least curse a little. But so far, 3 months of filming y'all and listening to every word you say, why is it I never hear any cursing?
And what he didn't hear actually got him converted.
And I said, I'll tell you why you don't hear filthy language coming out of our lips. So that evening, I sat down with him and I preached the gospel to him. You ever sinned? He's like, oh, yeah. I said, are you going to die physically? I said, how old are you, about 40-something? He said, no doubt about it. I said, here's why I don't use profanity, because the one who came down, he didn't use profanity. And he said, be like me. You're an ambassador for me. And as an ambassador for Jesus, you can't use filthy language, because if you do, you sound like the rest of this bunch running around. You have to be different. You have to stand out in that you do good, not evil. So this morning we worked on a dump, haul water on about 20-something acres, and about another 20 over in the woods there. So in all, that dump will hold about 40 acres more water for the ducks. So we've drained it all down, but the old dog bayou stone, it's the last one. Mm-hmm. When you make the call, we'll drain it. We've been draining water. In this part of the country, water stays late sometimes, high water. This year, not much at all. Been a pretty dry year. So we're down there working on the dump. I got Red, the local redneck, and he's an equipment man.
What's that?
So all he does, he's on a retainer. So he gets money every month from me, no matter what he's doing. And he's thinking, the only way I can keep that money flow is when he calls, I need to answer the phone, because he's got something on his mind. So that's how it works with him. Help a local redneck, make it your policy to do that.
We get a lot of emails, Stone, mainly to you, because I'm still a little heavy set, but I've lost some weight, about how living healthier. You're great at it. You look good. But that's, Si, you still working out?
Hey, greens, if you eat greens, it helps you. I'm telling you.
It does
Your body
help.
needs it.
And we started taking Christian over at the other podcast, turned us on to a product called Athletic Greens, and I love them. Do you still take them every morning, Stone?
Oh, yeah. Every morning I mix a little protein in there with it and whip it up. Well, look, you don't always eat your greens. You got to have them. You got to have a certain amount of greens to have a healthy digestive system.
Yep.
Amen. And Jason from Crestview, Florida, one of our listeners, he's a truck driver. He says it's hard to stay healthy out on the road. So he ordered it and he's trying it out. He's going to let us know how he feels. I'm telling you, I feel great. I take it every morning.
Yeah.
Whenever you take just one scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. And like Stone said, it supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. All the things. The best part about it, too, it's cheap. It ain't that expensive. If you go to get a cup of coffee, this is cheaper than that. And whatever diet you're on, it works with it. Keto, dairy, low carb, whatever you're doing, this is fine. You can take it. It's not going to make you fat. It's going to make you feel good. It's got all the nutrition you need. So to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/duck. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/duck to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
And I will tell you this. If you have kids that are picky eaters and all they'll eat is chicken nuggets, make them an Athletic Greens shake for breakfast, and they have all their vitamins and nutrients in one drink.
So the book is about all I had to say for about 2 or 3 years from in the woods. So they took a film crew, followed me down through the woods. We'd stop on the side of the road, and I'd give them a lesson. I didn't have notes, take notes, and all that. I just come up with a topic. And this little book, I recommend it, especially for you young bucks who run around, don't know who you're getting drunk with your buddies, you're taking fentanyl, you're dead, they're dragging them off. So it's when party time comes, they've got drugs now that will kill you within an hour or two. You'll be dead. And they're sucking them up like they're candy or something else. You think you're buying one pill, it's really fentanyl that'll kill you. 100,000 last year, 100,000 young bucks, 20s, late teens, 20s. They're all dead, 100,000 of them. You say, I wonder if following Jesus is the best way. Is God dead? There's a topic. None of these questions. Is God dead? The truth that sets you free. Live out the truth. A taste for freedom. The prison of false freedom. America's spiritual problem. Jesus in today's politics. The grace of God. Love your neighbors. Demonic deliverance. All this, you read it, You get your Bibles out. Look, none of these are over 2 pages. Here's the front, here's the back. That's over. That topic is covered. It's not a long, drawn-out book, and you read chapter after chapter. Oh, I'm getting sleepy. I made it easy for you. In April 1966, Time magazine raised a ruckus. I remember it. I was a sophomore in college, Louisiana Tech, when I saw this. Time magazine raised a ruckus when it printed this question on its cover: Is God dead? They all looked around in the 60s. They say, evidently, God died on us. But he didn't die. We did. So you read each one of these topics. You say, how many are there? There's 100 topics in this. They even put my picture up there. That's a shirt that I got on right there. See that patch? I put it there because I got ripped off by a limb. But you see that shirt? That shirt is about 35 years old. They took it from me and put it in a museum because they had me sportsman's something, some kind of award. And they took my shirt and put it on one of these, what do you call them? The things they hang your clothes on.
Mannequin?
Women.
A mannequin?
Yeah.
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 They got a mannequin with my shirt on it, but the face they put on it, it didn't even look like me. All they had right was the whiskers. But that shirt right there, they got that. It's in the museum now. So I made it to a museum, a mannequin, and that was the old shirt I was wearing. But I didn't wash it for the entire 30 years. I never washed it. I just hang it up to dry if it rained on me. It'd dry out, and I'd put it back on. But that was a great shirt. I missed that shirt, by the way.
Airing it out, boys.
Sorry, what do you
So
say?
that's a little your daily feel. 100 days of truth and freedom to heal America's soul. You young bucks ought to get off your butts and quit dipping in the dope that will kill you. I mean, give me a break. And all this stuff in the streets, if you don't kill your children, we'll kill you. Yeah, I bet you will. So we're all looking at it here, and I'm 76, boys. Y'all are young bucks. I'm 76. If someone told me, Si, that you and I would be looking at what we're seeing in these United States of America with this crap coming out of Washington, D.C.,
Oh, no.
I wouldn't have believed it.
Nope.
Here's a little light text. This is a light text. Mark this. You say, if you hear something in the Bible and you're reading along and you say, whoa, what? Mark this means write this down.
Underlined it.
Underline this. There will be terrible times in the last days. I don't know whether it's the last days or not, but ever since Jesus showed up, the writer of Hebrews, no one know who wrote this. In the past, God spoke through our forefathers and through the prophets at many times and in various ways. God spoke, Old Testament. But in these last days,
New covenant.
he has spoken to us by his Son, whom he appointed heir of all things, through whom he made the universe. This Son is the radiance of God's glory, exact representation of his being, sustaining all things by his powerful word.
Yep.
So ever since Jesus showed up 2,022 years ago, God's not said a word since. He documented it first century. The apostles, you read Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, the epistles, Apostle Paul and Peter and all of them. You read it all, you say, is that the end of the flow of information? That's the end of it. You say, he gave you the beginning, he created it. You turn rogue like all other human beings. He comes down to keep the law that not one other person had ever done. He wrote it, he kept it, and died to get us out from under it. He's spoken to us by his Son. You say, no more writings. Writings are over. These texts are old, but listen to this. In lieu of what you see in America, people will be like terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves. Lovers of themselves. Lovers of money. Oh, yeah, he hit one there. Lovers of money. Y'all see any of that going around? Boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents. That's what you'll see in the last days. Any disobedience to parents going on in the United States of America?
One of the 10 Commandments.
Children, honor your father and mother. Boom, they break the law. They don't honor their father and mother. Ungrateful.
No
I
appreciation.
mean, America's the greatest country there ever's been, and I mean, they're saying, "To hell with America, get them out of here." They just cursing and carrying on. It's the greatest country on earth. It was, but it's slipping fast. Unholy, that's the way it'll be in the last days. Without love, that's the way it'll be in the last days. I'm just reading the text. You decide whether it's the last days or not. Unforgiving, slanderous. Kill your baby. We want to kill the baby. We got to kill the babies or we'll kill you. Slanderous, without self-control. My goodness. Slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure. Everywhere you look, immorality is shown. Immorality, perversion. Lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying its power, have nothing to do with them. There's certain sections you just like, I point them to Jesus, but to run with them, no. So there's a little update on the book. It's those kind of things that you'll hear. Put your faith in Jesus, get out alive. That's the message.
Yeah, so that is the book. It is Your Daily Fill, 100 Days of Truth and Freedom to Heal America's Soul. It was exclusive at Walmart last year, but it's so popular, they brought it everywhere. So for the first time ever, you can get it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Hobby Lobby, Books A Million. Anywhere you can find books, it's there. And you can download a free chapter at yourdailyfillbook.com. So go check it out, and we're going to take a break and be right back.
Well, it's good to be with you, boys. I hate to eat and run.
Are you leaving? We got one more segment. We'll take one break and one more segment, then we'll be done.
All right, let me take a leak.
All right, take a look.
We're going to take a break.
Wrap it up, Johnny D. What, you got some emails for us?
Yep, I got a couple good emails that I thought Phil would be great at. Phil, we have people email in asking questions, Jesus, life advice, any of the sort.
Yep.
And Brandon from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, emailed in and said, after years and years off the path of the Lord, he finally reinstated his faith about a year and a half ago. He's got a
Kudos to him.
Yeah, he's got a son. His wife and him pray together every day. So great stuff here. But he said a dear friend of mine he's older than him, he's a good person, but when it comes to Brandon's beliefs in Christ, he has no problem trying to make me feel like I am crazy. So his friend lost his 17-year-old daughter 2 years ago and believes that if there is a God, he is cruel. I tend to cower down and refrain from getting into a debate. What can I do to try and prove to my atheist friend that the Lord Almighty is very much real and that the teachings of Jesus Christ are the most valuable lessons that can be learned?
You could take what the college professors tell you. In the beginning, there was nothing. There was nothing. And here comes a violent explosion. They know it had a starting point. And here comes the universe. So ask your atheist friend, I would guess, what was there before the large explosion? What was there? And they will say, nothing. So then you would have to say, well, nothing explodes,
Yeah,
and you have the cosmos.
that's it.
How does nothing explode? I mean, where did it come from? So, where did we come from? I read the scriptures. God created us, knits us together in the womb of a woman. That's why you don't want to. When a human being is born, you could ask him, how old is he? They'll say, well, he hasn't had his birthday. He's born on July 1. Well, he's going to tell everybody that 1 year from now, when July 1 comes up again, he's going to say, I'm 1 year old. Correct?
That's right.
You're born, but you're saying, well, today is my birthday. Well, a year goes by and your birthday comes up, and everybody's telling everybody, yep, now my kid is 3. He's actually 3 years and 9 months. Right?
Yeah.
Correct.
So everybody who's born, some born a little earlier than 9 months, but roughly 9 months, has to be added to it somewhere. So when you say I'm 50, you're 50 years and you're 9 months.
Yep.
You're almost 51. It's almost because you stay 3/4 of the time inside your mother. But that proves you were alive because you came out and I'm looking at you and talking to you.
And God says, I knew you in the secret place.
Yeah. So you end up saying either salt water made me
Nope.
or God made me. I heard the college professors. I heard what they had to say. But for salt water to make me a beaver, an otter, a mallard duck, a teal duck, a gadwall duck,
No, sir. That dog
what
won't hunt.
department in salt water put the color code of the wood duck? Beautiful thing. What department in salt water said, let's make this one with this kind of feathers? I mean, you look at a male wood duck, it'll knock your eyes out, how beautiful they are. They fly over, they come in from Canada, they just migrate, and they're like airplanes. They land on the water, now that airplane is a boat, and he's paddling around. Some of them dive to eat 50 feet under the water.
Now he's a submarine.
So he's a plane jet coming pretty fast. He's coming across out just dots. We blow at him with duck calls, and you look up and you hear, sounds like a plane coming. You're looking at a boat now. Well, then you're looking at a submarine. What department in saltwater with all these different colors and different species? I just don't think saltwater got it in it. I just don't think.
Nope.
By the way, they go all over the cosmos with telescopes, satellites. They have not found one drop of water. They see places that we think this is what.
Nope.
No water yet. None. So they say, well, water must have made us. But where'd you come from? God either made you or salt water. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? And is there a way out of here? For the atheist, I want to hear what he says. They have no chance. No chance. We live by faith. I've never seen Jesus Christ. I just read about him. It just happens that our calendars come from the time markers 2022 years ago, give or take 1 or 2, God shows up in flesh. Why would the world count time by one person who ever lived? Why do you count time by Jesus Christ? He bound to have done something big, or we wouldn't put our calendars. It's 2022 years since Jesus showed up. He has to answer those questions.
Yeah.
Plus, I'd ask him 2 more. Is there good and evil in this world we live in.
Well, I think that's what he's struggling with because his
Well,
friend
no.
lost his
That's
daughter.
why I'm saying you need to ask two questions. Is there good? Well, okay, that'd be God himself, God Almighty, his Son, his Holy Spirit. And is there evil? Yes, that would be Satan, the evil one. Okay? You lost a daughter. God didn't kill her. Okay? Trust me when I tell you that. Satan did.
So, look, if this is true, there's your sins are removed, the blood of Jesus on the cross. God becomes flesh 2,022 years ago, dies on a cross. He keeps the law perfectly, dies to get us out from under it, is resurrected 3 days later. He beats death for us, went back into heaven. He's there 24/7 to constantly cleanse us of any mistake we make as we follow him. Faith in Jesus, winner take all. If there's no God, I'm going to die thinking there is, and there's life beyond this life. I'm going to die thinking, what's next, Lord?
You live with hope or you live without hope.
Yeah.
I'm going to take my chance with Jesus.
Me too.
I'm going with that.
I'm with you, fellas.
Okay.
I'm with you fellas.
All right, well, I'm going to close this out with a Bible verse. And, Phil, you started us off with what happens to be my dad's favorite verse, so I'm going to end with it. 1 Thessalonians 4:11 and 12, and make it your ambition to lead a quiet life, minding your own business and working with your hands just as we told you, so that your daily life may win the respect of outsiders and that you will not be dependent on anybody. Phil, I think you made this your ambition and mission accomplished because you have the respect of a lot of people and you aren't dependent on anybody. So thank you for joining us, Phil.
No problem.
Go check out his new book and stay tuned right now because Si's got a new show. We're just churning stuff out. Si and Jace and Jep and their treasure hunting show. We're going to give you a little clip of that on YouTube. You can listen to it if you're just listening to the podcast. And we'll see y'all next time right here in the Duck Call Room.
So obviously Murray's not with us today.
I know. Where is he at anyway?
He went to Kansas for his birthday.
His 75th birthday. He loves Kansas.
Well, hey, I know why.
Yeah.
He goes up there to get away from everybody.
Well, he works on his property and clears stuff.
It just seems weird that he does the total opposite that everyone else does, in that most people throw a party and everybody comes together. He goes to be by himself
Yeah, but
hundreds
the
of
party
miles
deal,
away.
I get told.
He told me he was going to meteorite hunt.
Oh,
I said, by yourself?
He's found some, I know. I know
Yeah.
he made a knife. That's the coolest thing. For his son-in-law's wedding to his daughter, he gave him and himself matching meteorite knife. It's the coolest knife.
yeah, that he actually.
He got them made.
Well, it's like, what do you get a man like Murray? What would you possibly get him? I mean, he's 75 years old.
He has the best knife and gun collection I've ever seen.
Oh, hey.
ever. If you're running around with a knife from outer space,
That's cool.
yeah.
Well, why don't we go, Jace, to Kansas and surprise Murray for his birthday and find a meteorite?
Hey, he went up there to get away from everybody. Dummy.
No, he loves me and Jace.
That ain't got nothing to do with it. That's where he's going to his hideaway.
I'm kind of with Sal.
No, he's invited me there before.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he just went up there to get away from
I
everybody.
get it, but I think he would think it was a cool surprise. And plus, we could find something from outer space.
I mean, I've never done that. I don't know anything about it. But when you think about it, after Murray survived cancer, if it was anybody that you need to celebrate their birthday, yeah, I think it's Murray.
Yeah, I like it. I like it, boys.
Murray's a sweet man. Good man.
I guarantee you one thing, he'll be surprised.
Is there any money in meteorites?
I think so.
I have no idea.
I had to do a little research, boys.
I'm looking it up right now. Oh my goodness. Depending on which you find, some of them are worth $2,000 a pound.
Cha-ching.
What in the world?
Found a 1,000 pounder.
I know what y'all doing next week.
What?
Y'all going to Kansas.